Hello, and today we're going to do day 5 of Advent of Code. And as you can see, today is the 5th, so we're right on schedule. Let me open up PyCharm. And let's just get ready. Let's see, how do we do this? Set it up as new Python file, name it day5.py. Why are you in here? And of course, we need our two text files, one for the sample and one for the actual puzzle input. And for the Python, we'll just copy everything in day 4. And we're good to go. Maybe I should change configuration before I forget. Okay, we're good. Now for today's problem, hydrothermal venture. You come across a field of hydrothermal vents on the ocean floor. Okay. Yeah, I assume these ones are they're stuck on the bottom of the ocean floor, and basically bacteria can grow near these. Yeah, it's geothermically heated. Basically, there's no oxygen, but I mean, small organisms can survive off the sulfur or something, and that creates entire habitat. I don't know. These vents constantly produce large opaque clouds, so it would be the best to avoid them if possible. They tend to form in lines. The submarine hopefully produces a list of nearby lines of vents. Your puzzle input for you to review. For example, okay, these are all... What? These are lines? Oh, this is a line from 0 to 9 to 5 to 9. Okay. Each line of vents is given as a line segment in the format x coordinate, y coordinate. To x coordinate and y coordinate, where x1, y1 are the coordinates of one end, the line segment of one end of the line segment. I don't know. English seems to be wrong here. And x2, y2 are the coordinates of the other end. These line segments include the points at both ends. In other words, oh, so it's inclusive. Okay, got it. An entry like 1, 1 to 1, 3 covers points 1, 1, 1, 2, and 1, 3. Yep. An entry like 9, 7 to 7, 7 covers point 9, 7, 8, 7, and 7, 7. For now, only consider horizontal and vertical lines. Okay, so there will be diagonal lines in the future. Lines where either x1 equals x2 or y1 equals y2. So horizontal and vertical lines from the above list would produce the following diagram. 1, 2 was 2. In this diagram, the top left corner is 0, 0, okay, and the bottom right corner is 9, 9. Each position is shown as the number of lines which cover that point, or dot if no line cover that point. The top left pair of ones, for example, comes from 2, 2 to 2, 1. And the very bottom row is formed by the overlapping lines 0, 9, 5, 9, and 0, 9, 2, 9. Okay, got it. To avoid the most dangerous areas, you need to determine the number of points where at least 2 lines overlap. In the above example, this is anywhere in the diagram with 2 or larger, or a total of 5 points. Consider only horizontal and vertical lines. How many points do at least 2 lines overlap? I mean, off the top of my head, wait a minute, will the puzzle input have diagonal lines? Let me see. It does have diagonal lines. Wait a minute, is this wrong? If it's only considering horizontal and vertical lines? Oh, no. This list even has diagonal lines. For example, 0, 0, 2. So this is 0, 0, and it goes to 8, 8 here. Then that'd be a diagonal line. Aha, so we have to filter them out. Okay, so among the input where the elements are only horizontal and vertical lines, from them I just go through each line and then see what points, what coordinates they take up, and then I have a count for each coordinate. Every time each coordinate has a hit, +1 to the count. And then at the end, we can get all the counts if it's 2 or greater. So and I think I can just go through it once, because if the count turns from 1 to 2, then we add 1 to the end result. So the puzzle input, okay, there is this arrow. We can split by this arrow. And here we have the first point and the second point. And then we go through this list. In each element, you compare the first point, the x's, see if they are equal, or if the y's are equal. If none of them equal, then we skip that altogether, because it's not a horizontal or vertical line. So let's start off. You parse the sample text. Let me actually just copy and paste that one in. That should be good. Okay. All right, how do we split this up? So we have the input list. We parse it. And then when we get back, is a 10 element array or 10 element list. Then we can use that, we can split it up. So for what should I call it? For line in input list, We want to split this line up by this delimiter here, which is the arrow. And from the left we get 0, 9, and at the right we get 5, 9. Left coordinate equals, we split that, 0. And the right coordinate, we do that same split. Oh my god, this keyboard. Then we take the second element. Yes, I know we did this line dot split twice. That's duplication, but it's very, very negligible. It's very readable too. So negligible on the speed side. So now with these coordinates, we can actually go even further. We can split the left coordinate by the comma. And then we have y1. Do I even need the left? I mean, x1 is already very clear. y1, we split the left coordinate and take the second element. And we do the same thing for the right coordinates. x1, x2. This will also be y2. Okay. Now if x1 and how about if we just convert this to an integer? Just so it's easier, because now we've actually have the individual values. Okay, if x1 does not equal to x2, or, can I get the or? And this is not JavaScript anymore, we don't need the quotation marks. Or y1 does not equal y2. So if neither of these happen, then that means that it's not a straight line and we can just continue. Or, yeah, it is continue. So if at least one of them equals, oh no, it's not or, it's and. Yeah, because we're continuing, so we need both of them to not work. Okay, so now once that's done, we're going to have a dictionary, which is called what do they call it? Is it coordinates or? It is coordinates. Okay, chords count. We have a dictionary. And then And then we have a total sum. Two lines overlap. Just call it sum. So now that we're done that, we've got rid of what we don't want. Anything below are the lines that we do want. And we are going to iterate. How do we iterate? For x in range how does this work? Start supports index, stop supports index, step. So like range of 10 would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's okay. One parameter is stop. Two parameters is start. So range, you include x1 and you stop, which is x2. But this doesn't include, it's non-inclusive, so you do x2 plus 1. So for example, they're the same. x1 is 9 and x2 is 9. Then it goes from 9 to 9, which is just 9. Okay. I think I got it. My problem is, let me see the sample text. Does it go down? Zero goes up to 5. Nine goes down to 3. I mean, it should be smart enough. To do that, or I can just absolute value it. Maybe we can search it up actually. Python range always goes up. I don't think it's smart enough. I think we have to tell it if it goes up or down. I need steps to be a negative number, but according to the puzzle input, or at least the sample input, you don't know if it's going to, if x1 is going to be greater than or y1. See, it goes from 3 to 1, but then maybe another coordinate goes from 0 to 4, 9 to 3, and then it goes positive 0 to 5, so it goes up and down. In this case, we could just do some logic here. So x1 maybe I can even do else if. And then it's going to be the else, it's y's. We'll have two variables, x large and x small. Same for y large and y small. And same thing here. Y large, just switch to y's. Y small. Y2. Else Y1. Okay, now we can finally iterate. So range from x small to x large plus 1 X and Y1 not in chords count. Chords count. Do I need this bracket here? Equals 0 or equals 1. Else chords count this plus equals 1. Same for the y part. y1, y2 plus 1. What do I have it? Y large or y small to y large plus 1. Do the same thing here. Oops. And of course, if it ever equals 2, because if it's greater than 2, then we won't check it. X1, y is equal to 2. That should work. Once we return the sum, it'll print it out, and we should get the answer. So should we try it? Or am I having a bug here somewhere? Why do I have 2 ranges here? Bad copy. Y large equals y1 if y1 is greater than y2, correct? y2 if y1 is greater than correct. 2 else. Okay, this is both correct. If it's not in it, then we initialize it so we don't get an error, or else we add it by 1. Return sum. It should work. I don't know. We can at least try it out. Split. It shouldn't be a double space. I already have the delimiter here. This was I was confused about. Don't even think I need this delimiter here. What? No way. I already have 5 points. How is it only 1? What? I don't know. Let's just debug this. Makes it easier. Zero 0509, sure. Let's... No, this is get stuff. Oh, jeez. Like, do I just press F10 or something? I'll just try F10. No, it doesn't work. How do I step out? Oh, why are these hotkeys all different? Step into, step over is F8. Why is it F8? Don't know. Okay, I already see the issue. Since we're comparing different x's here, it should be y1 equals to y2. So now I get 5. That's the correct one. Let's just copy this, the actual text here, actual puzzle input. So yeah, since I was comparing, I was iterating through the x's, that means the y's had to be the same. So that's why it messed up here. It wasn't even going to anything. And then of course when it goes to the else, well, the y's would be the same. So we actually don't iterate through anything, which we don't get anything for the sum. So now, we can comment this out and then comment this in. We don't need a delimiter anymore. And I get 7297. That's the right answer. Part 2 time. Hopefully it's not that hard. Unfortunately, considering only horizontal vertical lines doesn't give you the full picture. That's correct. That's why the puzzle input had diagonal lines. You need to also consider diagonal lines. Because of the limits of the hydrothermal vent mapping system, the lines in your list will only ever be horizontal, vertical, or diagonal line at exactly 45 degrees. In other words, how convenient. If it wasn't at directly 45 degrees, I don't know how I would have solved this. An entry like 11 to 33 covers point 11, 22, and 33. An entry like 97, 79 covers point 97, 88, and 79. Considering all lines from the above example would now produce the following diagram. You still need to determine the number of points where at least 2 lines overlap. In the above example, this is still anywhere in the diagram with 2 or larger, now a total of 12 points. Consider all of the lines. How many points do at least 2 lines overlap? So it's the same thing, just considering diagonal. So I will just copy and paste part 1 for now into part 2. And get ready. Here, comment out part 1, comment in part 2. Now we get rid of this check here because we want diagonal lines now. And instead of going for this small and large stuff, I think we just start iterating. Or one sec. We still want to know how we iterate, so I think we keep the x large, x small, and y large, y small. hold on. What am I doing? Why don't we just keep it? I know it's messy. I know it's duplicated code. But let's just do the same thing. So I'm just thinking here, if it's going to be diagonal, it'd be, for example, 0, 0, and then 1, 1. Okay, both will be larger. In that case, what about if it's diagonal the other way? It could go from 0, 8 1, 7 So this will be, so for example, 80 to 08. 80. Eight goes down to 0, and then 0 goes up to 8. So you can't do it that way. We just have to step down or step up, step positive or step negative, and we just have to figure out that out ourselves. So we're just going to go from x1, y1 to x2, y2 regardless. So if x1 is greater than x2, we'll have an x step and we will have a y step. Else x step would be -1 if y1 is greater than y2. It's less than. If y1 is less than y2, then we step up. Should I have just done this? If x1 is less than x2, else 2, and then y step equals 1 if y1 is less than y2, else 2, or else -1. It saves all these lines. Great. So we go through, we're going to have two for loops. For x in range, x1, step, x step. I think it's x2 plus x step. Because we're going positive, then you add 1. And if we're going down, you subtract 1 because the stop does not include that value. And then we go for y in range, y1, y2 plus y step. And then we have to put in the step. Same thing. I don't know if I could just combine all these into a function. So now instead of x or y1, we go xy. And then xy. And also xy. And that should be all the differences. If y1 equals to y2 or if x1 equals to x2, they stay the same. Okay, did I screw anything up here? I guess here we could also do x step and y step, but x large and x small works too. I mean, this looks fine to me. So if we step through this, for example, what do we have here? 80 to 08. 8 does not equal 0, and 0 does not equal to 8. 8 is less than 0, nope. So it's negative 1. 0 is less than 8, correct. So it's 1. Yes, 8, 0 goes down. 0 to 8 goes up. 8, 0, minus 1, negative 1. Okay, this seems correct. I mean, I don't know. Okay. So we're here for the sample text. Let's go. $84. Does that seem correct? That looks like a good answer. Still anywhere in the diagram with a 2 or larger, now a total of 12 points. That does not look correct. What did I do wrong here? Because say if you continue, then you get 5. So what's wrong is this part. We don't iterate. We do not iterate. What I mean is we don't do a nested iteration because these are coordinates. It's a straight line. What I'm doing here is I go through every value of x and match with every value of y, which doesn't happen because it's just a line. I just want the intersecting points. Honestly, I could do some math to figure out if it is 45 degrees, but I'm not going to do that. Oh, I am getting tired here. What can I do here? I guess this works. But I'm probably not going to use x. I'm just going to use I here. I think it's going to be perfect. It's perfectly length x and y. It has to be. See how it goes from 0, 0, 8, 8. They're both a length of 8. 5, 5 to 8, 2. It's both a length of 3. So actually, what I can do, now that I know that piece of information, go length is absolute of x1 minus x2. And then for I in range of the length, so for example, in the sample text, it's a length of 8. 8 minus 0 is 8. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we do the length plus 1, actually. We need that. Or I can just plus 1 here. X would be equal to x1 plus I multiplied by x step. Y would equal to y plus I multiplied by y step. Y step could be -1 or +1. And if it's negative, then it subtracts, which is what we want. And now I believe everything should be the same. So we got our x's and y's. So So let's go here, 5, 5, and A2. That's a good example, I think. So we start with 5 and 5. Five is less than 8. So the step is 1. And 8 is greater than 5. Or 5 is greater than 2, which means that it's negative 1. So y step is negative 1, x step is 1. Length equals 5 minus 8, which is negative 3, plus 1 is 4. But we're using the range function, which is 0, 1, 2, and 3. And I think that is what we want. Yes. The length is 4, but the range is 3. It looks like the length is 8, but the length is actually 9. That makes sense. So x would be equal to 5 plus 0 times 1, okay, which is just 5 and 5. And then 5 with plus 1 is 6, and then minus 1 would be 4. I think this works. Let me try it out. 12. And total of 12 points. So now let's try with the big input. And we should get a number here, 21038. Let's see if that works. Yeah, that's the right answer. You're 1 gold star. So we finished day 5 today. We get 2 stars, and it didn't take long at all because I was just blabbering on for a bit there, including reading. Cool. I mean, this is kind of duplicated code. I think I can even make a little helper function here. Like, for example, def add to count. And we can take in chords count and sum. Oh shit. Ah, that's fine. X and Y. I mean, even these could be global, so we don't need to pass it in, but that's fine. We just copy and paste this. we can have act2 count, chords count, some x, y, and y. Do the same here. X and y1. Here's just x and y. X1y and xy1. We get a sum of 0. I assume that we can't pass. How do we pass values in here? This is fine, it's dictionary. Let me just search it up. Python pass by reference. Is there just a ref keyword? Well, that's kind of lame. Didn't know there was a ref keyword. It doesn't work, right? Oh, this is C sharp. What am I doing? Of course C sharp has pass by ref. Yeah, I was thinking that maybe I have to just return it, huh? Yeah, whatever. Return self plus 1, and then we can here we just return the sum. We just do sum equals. That should work. Yep. So now this is much more cleaner, and we use this little helper function to remove duplicate code. And that's it. Thank you for listening and watching myself solve day 5 of Advent of Code 2021. See you for day 6.